Good afternoon, everyone. Very warm welcome, and thank you all for joining us for this information session on French funding and fellowship opportunities for researchers in Thailand. My name is Simon Grimley, and I work with the International Cooperation Office here at the National Science and Technology Development Agency, or NSTDA, which I think many of you know. And we're very pleased to be supporting this event, which is really led by the French Embassy here in Thailand, as well as the Program Management Unit for Human Resources and Institutional Development, Research and Innovation in Thailand, or PMU-B for short. So the objective of this event today is to provide you, researchers, research support offices across the country, with information about the PhD and postdoctoral funding and fellowship opportunities in France, which are open to you as researchers here in Thailand. And we will also discuss other funding opportunities in France, and also how you can find research partners, French research partners. Please ask lots of questions. We've got some great speakers here today. They know these programs better than anybody, so this is your chance to address any questions that you may have. You can do this in the chat box on the right-hand side of the screen, and ask questions throughout the event. We'll do our best to answer them as we go along, but we've also set aside some time at the end of the event for Q&A. So we have some, as I said, some excellent presenters with us today. So let's get started. It's my pleasure to introduce our first speaker for this afternoon. His name is Dr. Xavier Grosmaitre. He's the Science and Higher Education Attaché at the French Embassy here in Thailand. And Dr. Grosmaitre has just arrived in Thailand. He's been here a couple of months after spending the last 3 years as the Science and Higher Education Attaché at the French Embassy in Ottawa, Canada, which is a country very dear to my heart because that's where I grew up. So I look forward to getting caught up with Xavier on some Canadian news in the months ahead. So let's get started. Xavier, the floor is yours.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much, Simon. And I would like to thank the NSTDA for inviting us for this presentation today. As Simon mentioned, I'm the Science and Higher Education Attaché at the French Embassy, and I will be here with the Deputy Attaché, Benoît, we are going to present together the opportunities for you to do research in collaboration with France. So we have a few slides that we would like to share with you that will support the presentation. Please feel free to ask any questions as they arise. And in the end, you will also we can share the presentation with you, and you will have our contact information. Please feel free to contact us anytime if you want further information about what we are going to talk about. I think we could start with the presentation now, and I don't know, Simon, if we could have the slides on the screen, shared screen. I don't know if it's available for the audience.
Go ahead. Sorry. Yep, they're being shared right now. Just give us a second or two.
Okay.
There we go.
Thank you very much. So again, this is the first slides, and we both Benoît and myself, we belong to the cooperation service from the for the Embassy of France in Thailand. And within the cooperation service, I have the pleasure to lead a small team which is dedicated for scientific and university cooperation. with so Benoît, which is in charge of the science cooperation and the programs I'm going to talk about later. And we also have Campus France, which you can see Campus France label on top left of the screen, which is the office of the student mobility, support of student mobility for Thai students wishing to do studies in France. So it's a small group where we are at your service for any questions you may have regarding student mobility and research cooperation with France. So the first slide I'm going to show you, next slide, in fact, I want to give you some maybe to open your appetite to work with France. So why would it be a good idea to have a scientific cooperation with France? France is a leading actor of research in Europe and in the world, where, as you can see here in this slide, a few information. There is a lot of foreign investment in research in France. And the research of the French laboratories is highly internationalized, since we have about 57% of the scientific publications which are international cooperations. A lot of international cooperations are taking place within large consortia in Europe, because Europe has a lot of tools to support European research, the European research area. However, we also cooperate with other countries, either with bilateral schemes or international schemes that we may talk about later on. France has a very diverse research organization, which might be a bit complicated from the outside, but let me tell you that there are two main bodies, universities, which are important for the training of students and for research. And we also have major research organizations that you may know, such as CNRS, the Centre National pour la Recherche Scientifique, which is the largest research center and organization in Europe. And we also have some organizations which are based in different countries. And for example, CIRAD and IRD are present here in Thailand. And these organizations are maintaining laboratories which are joint laboratories between French teams and foreign teams. Within the French laboratories in France, we have a lot of foreign students. About 40% of PhD students in French laboratories are coming from abroad. These students are coming to France to do research. Most of them do not speak French, and that's not a problem at all, because a lot of research is done in France in English. A lot of laboratories are international laboratories, whether they have postdoctoral associates or PhD students coming from abroad. So I would say the work language is English, so it's not a problem to do research with French researchers, even though you don't speak French. And the last little square in white, France is the third leading country for foreign doctoral candidates after the United States and the United Kingdom. So on the next slide, I'm going to talk about the different programs that we have. Yes, thank you. So the first thing I'm going to talk about are the funding schemes that we have at the French Embassy, which most of them are in fact co-funding schemes. So on the next slide, you will see that there are three main programs for mobility support between France and Thailand. First, there is the Franco-Thai scholarship program. This, also from the left to the right, the Franco-Thai scholarship program is dedicated for support of Thai students who would like to go to France to follow classes of a master degree or to do a PhD degree. It's open to all fields of study, whether it's humanities as well as experimental sciences. It's extremely open. The candidates have to be Thai nationals and shouldn't be more than 35 years old. There is a call for application every year, and the rate of success is about 50%. So this program is really dedicated for the mobility of students who would like to go to France to pursue a master or a PhD degree. The second program is the Junior Research Fellowship Young Talent Program, I should say. This program is for Thai postdoctorate. So if you have a PhD degree for less than 5 years, and you would like to spend a few months in France as a postdoctoral candidate, so to spend a few months in France to do research, that's a call for you. It's open again to all fields of study, and the success rate of this call is about 30%. And the third program, which is, I would say, the flagship program of the bilateral cooperation, it's the PhD program, the Programme Uber-Curien called SIAM. It's a French-Thai joint research program. This program is led by two teams, one Thai and one French. It's a 2-year mobility program to develop a research cooperation between two groups. So I'm going to go into a bit more details about this program in the next slides. So on the next slide, is first the calendar of the calls for 2022-2023. So it's very nice, and thank you again, Simon, for organizing this webinar right now, because at the moment, the Junior Research Fellowship 2023 call is open, and it's open until the end of November. And this is an individual program for postdoctoral candidates who would like to spend a few months in France. A little bit later in November, around mid-November, there will be the opening of the Franco-Thai scholarship program for master and PhD. This will be open mid-November until about February. And finally, the PhD SIAM, the major program for, I would say, more senior researcher, will be open in the spring, around mid-May, approximately, for the year, for next year. So on the next slide, I will present briefly the program. So the scholarship program, which is for master and PhD student. I will present this rapidly because I suppose that most of the members of this audience are rather researcher than students, but maybe some of your students might be interested to go to France. This program is a scholarship provided by the French government through the embassy. And what's very important is that, like all the programs I'm talking about, they are really dedicated to Thai nationals, and only to Thai nationals which are willing to go to France. For this program, which is for students going to France for a master or a PhD, there is always, or most of the time, a co-funding with Thai university or research institutions or private companies. The support is provided during all the time of the diploma, which means that it's 2 years for the master degree, up to 3 years for a PhD degree. And it's really dedicated for students who would like to complete this diploma, to go to France, to a French university, and to do a master or a PhD. Again, as I mentioned earlier, like most programs, there are all types, all fields of study from humanities to the most experimental sciences are open. And I have to emphasize that it's not because you are in a field which is humanities, for example, you should not refrain yourself to apply, because all the applications are based on the excellency of the academic criteria, whether it's science or academic level for students. So feel free to apply to these programs. So that was for the Franco-Thai scholarship program for master and PhD students. On the next slide, I will briefly present the Franco-Thai Young Talent Program, which is currently open. So this program is giving the opportunity for spending 2 to 6 months in a French laboratory to do research. It supports Thai postdoctoral candidates, so which are already graduated or will soon graduate, whether they are lecturers or researchers in public or private institutions here in Thailand. Since 2011 that this program was launched, there are more than 130 young researchers which were supported. And we have approximately 10 to 12 candidates which are selected every year out of 30 to 50 applications. So the rate of success is rather high. And recently, thanks to PMU-B, we have this program is becoming more reciprocal in a way that first of all, PMU-B is co-funding the program for Thai candidates who would like to go to France. And also now French candidates can also apply to come to Thailand to do some research. So it's really a bilateral program which is supporting the mobility of young researchers from Thailand to France and from France to Thailand. On the next slide, I will present briefly the Partenariat Uberquerien, which is the PhD SciM program. So this is, as I mentioned earlier, the flagship program of the bilateral relation between France and Thailand. It's also co-funded by the French Embassy and the Thai Ministry for Education and Research and Innovation. This program is a collaborative research project between two teams, one from Thailand and one from France. The two teams have to write the application together and submit the application together, and it will be evaluated by peers on both sides, so from the Ministry of Research in France and from the Ministry of Education, Research and Innovation here. This program will provide up to 10,000 euros to the candidates who would be successful, and it will support student and staff mobility, mostly mobility. So it's really a program to support the mobility of researcher. It's once again it's peer reviewed, so it's really based on the scientific quality of the program, and the criteria for evaluation include first the quality of the project, obviously, but also the involvement of young researchers, whether they are PhD candidate, master student, or postdoctoral associates. And the application really have to emphasize the complementarity between the two teams, whether it's technical complementarity or field complementarity, to show how the program and the completion of this program will leverage on the results of the scientific cooperation. And also the candidates have to emphasize on the long-term prospect of the project and what could be the potential societal benefits of the project. So this will be evaluated on both sides, and there is every year about 20 new programs which are supported. And this is really a great start for cooperation between the French and Thai team. So the three programs I presented are really supported mostly by the French Embassy and the French Ministry for Foreign Affairs. And they are really dedicated to Thai nationals and Thai students and Thai researchers. And now I will leave the floor to Benoît, and Benoît is going to present other programs that exist for mobility between Thailand and France. They are not specifically for Thai researchers, but Thai researchers can also use these programs for mobility towards France. So, Benoît.
Thank you, Xavier. So, yes, as Xavier mentioned, the three tools we presented to you today are specifically dedicated to support Thai national actor of research or students who want to collaborate with France. And those programs are operated by the embassy. But aside of that, we also support, France is supporting other program and other scheme, we are not only dedicated to Thai, but are actually addressed to Thai candidates. I would like to mention the fact that, as we said earlier, there is in Thailand some French research agency which are embedded in Thailand, some in Thai universities, like IRD and CIRAD. Those two research agencies who have permanent representation here in Thailand, in Bangkok, have their own scheme of support also. So this is also a possibility to find research mobility and collaboration. Next slide, please. Okay, so and I would like to present today two particular funding schemes which are operated by the French government, and those schemes are also open for Thai national, not only dedicated to Thai national, but are open for application from Thai national. So next slide, please. So the first one is MOCPA, for Make Our Planet Great Again Fellowship. This is a fellowship grant, scholarship that has been created in order to support projects, especially to tackle climate change, sustainability, energy transitions, or environmental issues, and One Health. So you can see here on the slide the 5 scientific themes will be considered for this call, and this fellowship is for young researcher who have a project to collaborate with France in a French laboratory for 1 year, with several elements included in the fellowship. As you can see, there is a monthly allowance of €2,050, plus moving allowance, support of social security, and health insurance. They will have 40 fellowship will be awarded. Last year, one Thai candidate received this fellowship. So this is also a program operated by the French government to support research and collaboration for foreigners, and including Thai, who want to spend 1 year for the research in a French laboratory. So the call is currently open until mid-January next year. So next slide, please. And the second program I would like to talk about, to present, is the Prix Tremplin. Prix Tremplin is a grant rewarded by the French Academy of Science and the Ministry of Higher Education and Research. This grant is open for ASEAN countries for the first time this year, in order to upgrade pre-existing collaboration between a French team and their partner in one of Asian country, including Vietnam, Cambodia, Malaysia, Indonesia, Singapore, the Philippines, and Thailand. This grant is unilateral. This is only a grant provided by the French Ministry of Higher Education, or €22,000 worth. and this can be used to fund mobility, but also research. This is a difference with a PHC, because PHC come from the budget of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. It only can fund mobility, which is not the case of the Prix Tremplin. The call is open until the 15th of November now. So there is few days to apply again. And they will have 6 grants for 2 years. And one of those grants is specifically dedicated to Thailand, in the framework of the bilateral year of innovation between France and Thailand. And the other 5 grants will be put into the competition between all the countries. So you are at least sure to have one grant for Thailand, but there is also possibility to get others if there is a very interesting project during in the application pool. So this is the same principle than the PhD. The project will be reviewed by the Academy of Science. As this is only unilateral funded, only the French PI have to submit the application. But of course, if your university, of your research agency, your laboratory is willing to co-fund this, the project, if it receives the grant, it is most welcome, of course, and this is possible. Next slide, please. So this is all the program we wanted to present to you today. As Xavier mentioned, we have a specific service dedicated to the cooperation between France and Thailand in research and higher education. So here you have all useful contact. Do not hesitate to contact us if you have any question regarding this program, but also if you are interested to collaborate with France, but you don't know what kind of laboratory or research institute you may found. We can provide you help. We can provide you contact. So please do not hesitate to contact us. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Xavier. Thank you, Benoît, for those very clear and comprehensive presentations. Maybe what I'd first like to do, just maybe I can reinforce some points that you've made that I think are important for the participants to keep in mind. The programs you presented, they're focused on Thailand for the most part. I mean, the Make Our Planet Great Again and the Prix Tremplin are more widely open, but otherwise these are dedicated programs to Thailand. That maybe separates your programs from many other countries' programs, funding programs. And you're also covering all levels of a researcher's career. You've got master's, PhD, postdocs, et cetera, and these programs which will allow for the expansion of existing collaboration. Xavier, you made the point that English is the working language. So you don't need to be fluent in French to apply for these programs. So please keep that in mind. It also struck me that the success rate is quite high for a number of these programs, particularly for the Junior Research Fellowship. You know, that's much higher than many other programs that we deal with. And the other point you made too, which I think it sort of separates France from other countries, and that is that you have these research institutes here that are operating, have a physical presence here in Thailand, such as IRD and CIRAD and so on. So I would encourage researchers that are looking to collaborate with France to connect with these institutes, because you've got French researchers that are working here in the country. We've got one question here which comes up quite often. So for the Franco-Thai, for the PhD Siam program, this is only open to Thai nationals, correct?
At least the PI from the Thai side have to be Thai. This
Okay.
is totally possible within the team
Yeah.
to put non-Thai or non-French person, but the PI from the French side has to be French, and the PI from the Thai side has to be Thai.
Okay. And can you talk just also about the eligibility for the Junior Research Fellowship? Can you just address that as well in terms of Thai institution, Thai nationality?
This is open for Thai national, only Thai national, up to 5 years after graduation.
Okay.
PhD graduation.
Okay. One more point I just wanted to make as well is that the timing of these calls is quite good in that, there are calls that are open now or that are about to open. So for any of you interested, this is the right time to be looking at these programs, except the pre-temps plan, which I think you said is 1 week. It's only open for 1 more week, right? So you'd have to get moving for that call. A question about the pre-temps plan. So you said that money goes to the French PI, but can that money be spent by the French PI to cover Thai researcher costs?
The principle is the Academy of Science will provide the grant directly to the French PI institution. Mm-hmm. Then the team have the absolute can do anything regarding the project. They can cover any kind of cost within the project. It can be mobility from France to Thailand or to Thailand to France. It can be bench fees. It can be all kind of costs.
Okay, clear. That's very clear. Okay, well maybe let's move along to our next speaker. Because she's in a position to share some firsthand experience about these programs. She's also can talk about the co-funding arrangement from PMU-B for the program called the Franco-Thai Young Talent Research Fellowship Program. So it's my pleasure to introduce Assistant Professor Dr. Sirinan Kulchat, who's the Deputy Director of PMU-B here in Thailand. So PMU-B is co-funding the Junior Research Fellowship Program, but Dr. Sirinan herself has considerable experience in France and knows these programs very well. She's benefited from a Franco-Thai PhD scholarship back beginning in 2011. She was also a Junior Research Fellowship awardee in 2018, and she also has been granted a mobility grant under the PhD Siam program. So it's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Sirinan, who is obviously very well qualified to talk about all of these programs. So Dr. Sirinan, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Simon, and thank you very much for inviting me to have a great opportunity to give a talk today. So may I share my slide first? Okay. Simon, I already sent my slide to Nasta. Could you please?
Yes. Okay. We'll share. Just give us a moment. We'll share from here.
This one. Thank you very much. Full screen, please. All right.
There we go.
I have some technical problem from my side. Sorry. Okay. Simon already introduced me, but I want to introduce myself again to everybody in floor here. My name is Assistant Professor Dr. Sirinan Kulchat. Currently, I am a Deputy Director at PMU-B, and I also work in Khon Kaen University for some of my time. And today, I would like to talk about the overview of PMU-B co-funding with the French Embassy about this program for the Franco-Thai Young Talent Research Fellowship Program. Next slide, please. Okay, so previously, this grant has been called as Junior Research Fellowship, but this year, PMU-B and French Embassy has great collaborations. So we just did the MOU. We just signed the MOU on the 28th of October, 2022, previously, and this grant has been named as Franco-Thai Young Talent Research Fellowship. So what about this grant? I'm gonna talk about this grant in a little bit more detail because Xavier already mentioned about the introduction of this grant already. So this grant, the objective of this grant that we aim to support the career of young researcher from Thailand to move to do a short-term research in France, and also for the French researcher to move to do the research with the Thai researcher in Thailand. So we open this floor for them to have a strong collaboration with their partner between French and Thailand. So this grant we will support Thai and French postdoctorate who graduate in 2018 or after to spend the time in Thailand or in France for 2 to 6 months in this period. So the maximum staying in each country is for 6 months. So the person, the researcher who can apply to this grant is French who would like to come to Thailand, and Thai researcher who would like to go to France. The area that we will support of this grant, as this year is the year of innovation, we support in various fields. For example, we support in science, humanities, social science, and innovation. And we also focus on some topic that regarding to the innovation. And so the field that we focusing on is for the future industry. For example, earth science and earth space. This one is very, very frontier technology. And also for quantum technology. So this technology can change the world at the moment or also in the future. And the technology relating to high energy physics and artificial intelligence, and also for the BCG and SHA. SHA is for social, humanity, and arts, and I will talk about this one later on. Okay, next slide, please. So at the moment, this grant is already open, and the grant will be open until the end of November. So we support. There are 3 schemes for this one. The first one, the scheme one is for the French researcher who want to come to Thailand. The budget that we will support them is we support everything. For example, the round trip ticket, and also with the health insurance and everything, and also for monthly allowance of about 1,800 euros. And for Thai researcher who would like to go to conduct the research in France, this one we co-funding with the French Embassy. So we also provide the budget as shown in this slide. And also for the third one is for the Thai researcher who would like to go to France, but this one is for the researcher, the postdoctoral researcher who granted by PMU-B under the program of National Postgraduate Postdoctoral System of Thailand. So PMU-B, we have this program. So the researcher who got grant by this one will have a chance to go to work with the French researcher in France. This one is the more detail, and you can ask me again about about something else if you have any questions. Next slide, please. Okay, so Simon already introduced that I am the alumni of French. So I want to share a little bit about my French life experience. A long time ago, in 2011 to 2015, I spent my time in France for 4 years because I got the scholarship from a French embassy called Franco-Thai scholarship with the support of the scholarship from Khon Kaen University. I got a very good opportunity to work with the Nobel laureate at that time, Professor John McKillen, who got the Nobel laureate in chemistry in the field of supramolecular chemistry. So he discovered the supramolecular chemistry and this field at the moment. So a lot of people, a lot of researchers, and a lot of the industry use this kind of technology nowadays. At that time, I did my PhD in the field of constitutional dynamic chemistry. And this is for my PhD. And after that, after I graduated, I moved back to Thailand to work at Khon Kaen University at the Department of Chemistry at Khon Kaen University. So I still continue to do my research, but I doing the research with the new field, for example, with nanotechnology, with supramolecular chemistry, and also I don't forget, so I also continue the dynamic chemistry as well. And after that, I got a chance to apply to the junior fellowship program in 2018, and luckily I got granted, and I moved back to learn more with Professor John McKillen to be a postdoctoral at his laboratory. At this time, I did the topic of quantum chemistry with the dynamic chemistry scheme. And then the year after, I just applied to the grant called Franco-Thai Mobility Program. This one is very good program because I have one of my PhD students. He after I got granted, after I got awarded, he has a chance to go to work with the Nobel laureate. So I am very happy for him at that time. And at the moment, I am the deputy director at PMU-B. So I introduced this collaboration, and now we successful the collaboration. Okay, next slide, please. And this is some of my research activity group in Thailand at the moment. So I have 2 roles. I'm also the professor at Department of Chemistry, and now I am in Bangkok. So my research activity is regarding to my research interest. So this is my PhD student who has a chance to go to France under this grant called Thai Franco Mobility Grant. He spent his time in French for 1 year. It's very good opportunity for him to stay there. And this is my research focus at the moment. So mainly I'm doing the dynamic chemistry. Yes. Okay, next one, please. Okay, I want to introduce a little bit more about the global partnership scheme of the PMU-B. PMU-B has various collaborators around the world. For example, this year we have the collaboration with the Franco-Thai Young Talent Research Fellowship, and we have the collaboration with ERC, with ASEAN Talent Mobility, with ANSO, with Belmont Forum, DFG, Southeast Asia, Europe, and eAsia grant. So we work together with many partners. PMU-B focus on building up the capacity building for research, for making frontier research to be more excellent and can competitive with other countries. And we link to interdisciplinarily. So we work with many organizations. And also we provide facility capacity building for the human resources through building up brain power for Thailand. So our aim is we want to be the global leader in the field of frontier research in the future. Next one, please. Yes. And this one is the Global Partnership Direction of PMU-B from 2023 to 2027. So the research direction is we focus on the frontier research, which is artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence can support every technology nowadays. For example, artificial intelligence can be infrastructure to support the quantum technology, earth science, earth space. This is very urgent technology this day, and also for high energy physics and for the light technology. And another theme that we focusing on is for frontier BCG. We focus on building up more food for the future. We have the theme of how to meat and plant-based protein, making from the frontier research. And for very precisely medicine, we call it as personalized medicine. And also for the climate change, we call it as carbon net zero scheme. And for the frontier SHA is standing for social, humanity, and arts. So this one, we focus on 3 themes, such as film, fashion, and festival. And for the network direction in PMU-B, we have a very clearly direction for building up the network with other partners in the world. The first one that we would like to enhance the research collaboration with the co-creation, co-production, and co-investment scheme to join the research together and building up more research network to do more impact research to the world together with Thailand and many countries. And the second one is we want to build up the center for ASEAN. So we call it as ASEAN Center for Highly Skilled Researcher. So we will have the ASEAN talent mobility to building up the capacity building for ASEAN and many countries in the world. And also the last one is for developing frontier technology to improve the institutional innovation. So we want to build up the research facility, capacity building network. Also for the infrastructure, we want to have more high technology, frontier technology for infrastructure in order to, for the country around us, for example, in ASEAN, to come together using facility and share facility to building up more frontier research and for the network exchange in the future. Okay, I think for me, it's finished now, and I would like to give my floor back to Simon, please. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Sirinan, for your excellent presentation as always. I'm just going to ask my colleagues to go back to the slide where you provided the overview of the Young Talent Research Fellowship Program. A few questions have come up about that. Go ahead, could you? Okay. So, well, just while we're waiting for that, one very general question, maybe going back to the presentation from Xavier and Benoît, are there any fellowships for postdoctorals who graduated more than 5 years ago? Benoît or Xavier, could you please address that?
At the moment, the program which is possible for researcher who graduated more than 5 years ago is to take part in a PhD program.
Okay.
A larger program. There is no direct fellowship for individual applicants.
Very good. Okay. So we've put back the slide, or put up the slide here that is the overview of the Franco-Thai Young Talent Research Fellowship. So this program is open now, closes in a few weeks. So there's still opportunities for researchers here in Thailand. So one question, if it's a French researcher coming from France to Thailand, where should they make their application for this program? A question I've got here is if if a researcher here seems to have a French colleague who they might want to encourage to apply for this program in order to come to Thailand?
So there is a website for this Franco-Thai Young Talent Research Fellowship Program, which is open now. And whether you are French or you are Thai, that's where you should apply.
Very good.
I would say the office and the way to apply is the same whether you're Thai or French.
Yes.
Okay. And then on maybe this is a question for Dr. Sirinan on the co-funding for a Thai researcher going to France. Again, they would apply through this website that you just mentioned, Xavier,
Yes.
Benoît?
Yes, the same website.
It's the same website. Okay. And in terms of the evaluation criteria, what would you be looking for in a good proposal for a Thai researcher looking to go to France?
The evaluation criteria, you mean? So
Yes, yeah.
we will evaluate about how frontier technology in the proposal is. We will evaluate about the scientific and technical quality of the project as well regarding to the focusing technology that I present in the previous slides, and also for the methodology for the scientific approach, and for long-term scientific or technical benefits, and about the outcomes after they join the program. What do they will get after the program? Yes, and if the French researcher come to work with the Thai researcher in Thailand, if they have the connection with the industrial partner, this one will be very good. So it will be also one of the point for the evaluations. Yeah.
Okay. Another question, Dr. Sirinan. So just the difference between the second and third program that's on the slide here now. What is the difference between those two programs or two components of this Franco-Thai Young Talent Research Fellowship?
Okay. Second and the third program, for the second program, so every Thai researcher, every junior Thai researcher can apply for this program. Yes, and for the third one, so PMU-B, we have the national system for postdoctoral system of Thailand. So this one, we just launched our new system for the year of the fiscal year of 2021. So the people who got granted by PMU-B, they can apply to this channel to go to work with this researcher. Yes.
Okay, that's clear. Thank you. May I ask one more question of you, Dr. Sirinan? I mean, you've got extensive experience in France, and you've sort of very successfully built, on your initial experience, and as you moved along in your career, benefited from other French programs. What advice would you give to a young researcher who maybe doesn't have their international research network yet? So maybe going back to when you first started collaborating with France, how did you find your research partner, and what advice would you give to a young Thai researcher interested in collaborating with France?
Okay, thank you, Simon. This is very good question. So, I have for my case, I think I'm very lucky because at that time I studied in Chulalongkorn University, and my professor who advised me to apply to the laboratory of Professor Len. At that time, he accepted me as the PhD student, and then since then I got the scholarship to study PhD there with him. This is the way. So because we have the connection in Thailand, and the professor in Thailand introduced me to him. Yes, this is the first way. So the connection or the networking is very important. And the second way that I learned from my friend who go to France. At that time, she or they, I would say they didn't have the networking or the connection with France, but they search on the internet to see about what they are interesting to work with which professor in France, and they just send email to that professor and ask for the available position for the PhD study. This is working very well for many people, for my friends in 2011 or in 2012. So the French professor are very welcome to are very welcome for a Thai student to go to work with them. Yes.
Good. Okay, so number one is your own network here in Thailand.
Yeah.
Number two would be, even if you don't know that professor, but to contact them and explain why you might want to work with them, or is that correct? Those are your two bits of advice?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, well, thank you both, or thank you very much. Thank you, Benoît and Xavier. We're going to have another testimonial here. Somebody who can share their experience.
I'm
Xavier?
I'm sorry to interrupt, but to also add a little bit of that, if that's also one of our mission is to support Thai researcher who would like to find a potential collaborator in France. If they contact researchers in France, they don't have any answers, or they would like us to help, we can really open doors. That's really our job too, which is you contact us and say, oh, I would like to work with Professor Tournesol, which is at the University of Paris, but I don't know how to contact him or her, please help. Then we can also make an electronic introduction that sometimes helps to open doors. So feel free to contact us for that too.
Thank you, Xavier. So that's an excellent offer. Thanks for making that clear. So for those of you out there today who maybe don't have a contact in France, please contact the French embassy, and they are more than willing to help. So if we can move along now, just to hear from a NSTDA colleague who also has benefited from what was then called the Franco-Thai Junior Research Fellowship. Her name is Dr. Wanwitoo Wanmolee. She is a researcher who is part of the Catalyst research team at NANOTEC, which is one of the research centers under the NSTDA NSTDA umbrella. So, Dr. Wanwitoo, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much for inviting me, Simon, and I feel so excited. Yeah, I feel so excited today. So, for today, I would like to share my research experience about the Franco-Thai Junior Research Fellowship. So, may I share my slide first? All right. Can everyone see my slide?
Yes.
Yes, we can. Yep.
Yep. All right. So the second. So, okay, let me introduce myself again. My name is Dr. Wanwitoo Wanmolee. So now I'm currently working as the researcher in the nanocatalysis and molecular simulation research group at National Nanotechnology Center, NSTDA. I applied this fellowship in 2021 after I graduated PhD for almost 2 years while I'm working at NANOTEC. Okay, then how did I learn about the Junior Research Fellowship program? Let me show you something about how can I learn it. Okay, it doesn't work. All right. Actually, I knew this fellowship from Dr. Pongchanawat here, who is one of my colleagues in the same research group. And Dr. Pongchanawat received the Franco-Thai Junior Research Fellowship in 2014 at Institute of Research on Catalysis and the Environment of Lyon, or we call it the Lyon, under the supervision of Professor Christophe. And after that, in the year of 2020, one of our colleagues again, who name is Assistant Professor Ratchaban. Yep, he is the research partner from Khon University, also received the same fellowship with the same supervisor as same as Dr. Pungthanavat. And at that time, I heard a lot of experience that they gained during they were staying in France. So I decided to apply this fellowship in 2021. And finally, I got this fellowship at the same institute, but under the supervision of Professor Dorothée. This fellowship program gives me the opportunity to develop the collaboration with the French experts in the same field, especially in the heterogeneous catalyst as well as the biomass utilization. And why did I choose to apply? Since the institute that we went to Lyon is very well-known research institute on the catalysis for green energy synthesis from the biomass, and it matched to the research work at NANOTEC. So it's a good opportunity for me and for everyone in the team to learn the advanced tools or techniques, and as well as the characterization that we can use to analyze the product that derive from the biomass or even the lignin. And also, as well as the to create the collaboration across the multicultural, not only French people but also other nationality who work in the same group as well. And lastly, actually, one of me to apply this scholarship is when I watched the Emily in Paris on the Netflix. So I feel like, oh, it's very impressive for me to go to France to see the magnificent architecture, culture, food, and also the French culture. Here. And next, how has my junior research fellowship experience influenced my life or my career? During my research experience in France, I found that I learned more about the type of environment, food traditions, culture that I am really enjoying there. And also, as you can see from this picture, not only for learning about the type of environment, but also we can build the more connection, strong collaboration between Thailand and France also. And here is the picture that I joined in the sport activity of the Thai Student Association that we live in France. So Thai people, including students, postdoctoral researcher, or even the researcher, Thai researcher there, we join the sport day every year. And in 2021, we have the sport activity in Lyon. And lastly, I also obtained analytical skills through hands-on learning about the instrument setup for a specific experiment that I never learned or never knew before. So what would be my advice to researchers on how to be successful in applying for a junior research fellowship? Firstly, it's very important for the first one that you have to find a host institution as early as possible. This one is very important because it takes time to process, starting from you send the email to the host, and after that you have to send the CV as well as your research topic that match with your host institute. And the second thing that you have to prepare the research topic and will organize the concept proposal, including the following list: project title, research problem, literature reviews, objectives and scope of works, also methodology, project duration, schedule for the project and expected output, as well as the list of equipment needed. You have to put everything here into your proposal, the concept proposal, so that you can demonstrate a good understanding of your project and the important detail of your project. Next, you have to focusing on the results or the expected benefit after ending the program. For example, you have to write how can you extend the collaboration between Thailand and France, as well as how many publications you will be published after you finish to join the program, or even attend the conference and so on. And if you have any connections with other experts outside Thailand, please providing more information in the research proposal. And then you have to review and refine your research proposal with your supervisor, with French supervisor, to make sure that everything is included inside of the concept proposal very well. And lastly, you have to submit before the deadline to make sure that everything is it's already sent to the fellowship. All right, that's all for me to share my experience during I living in France. Thank you everyone so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Wanwitoo. It was really an excellent presentation, very inspiring, and very clear advice based on your experience, which is not only helpful, but it resonates well with advice that's come from Dr. Sirinan and from Benoît, and also from Xavier. Maybe before, I've got a couple of questions for you, but maybe before I get to those, I can ask Xavier and Benoît if they would like to make any comments on this presentation, or Dr. Sirinan.
Thank you very much for your presentation and your very encouraging words to other researchers who may want to apply. It's very nice to see what you emphasize on, and thank you so much. And what I would like to emphasize too is, for us, it's very important that there would be a Thai researcher going to France and then coming back and bringing back with them this experience and the wish to continue the collaboration. Our goal is really to develop sustainable collaborations between France and Thailand. Our goal is not to have all the researchers going to France and stay there, but no, to build a long-term relationship between our two countries. So I'm very glad to see that both of you went to France, had a great experience there, came back here, and developing your career here. It's very positive for us, and you continue also to have relations with France, and there is a history of this relation between you and your laboratories, your colleagues, and that's exactly what these type of programs are built for. So thank you very much for both of you for your experience and sharing your experience.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Dr. Sirinan, did you want to make any comments on this presentation?
Okay. Thank you very much, Simon. So Dr. Wanwitoo share a very good and great experience living in France, and it's short time, but I am sure she gained a lot of nice experience about also learning the French culture and to learn some new scientific things in France. So I'm very happy to hear that. And thanks once again for inspiration presentation for other researchers who would like to travel to work in France. Yes, thank you.
Thanks, Dr. Sirinan.
Thank you.
Yeah, Dr. Wanwitoo, it was a very inspiring presentation and some excellent advice. Just a quick question. Have you, since returning to Thailand, have you found it easy to continue to expand on your collaboration, to build on the collaboration and the connections you made when you were in France?
Yes, you mean after I coming back to Thailand, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Actually, right now, the NANOTEC as well as the Konkan University, leading by Dr. Rathaban, we got the Mobility Siam PhD scholarship as well. Yeah, and both professors will coming to Thailand next week. Yeah, to join us.
Well, this has been, I think, a bit of a theme in the presentations today, that the initial experience, whatever it might have been, whether it was a PhD or a junior research fellowship, that this is just the beginning of long-term collaboration. And as Xavier said, that's obviously what the embassy wants to hear, but it's also very, very good for the careers of young researchers. So I think we're running short on time. I know we could certainly talk much longer, but maybe just before I kind of wrap up here, we've put up, I believe we've put up in the chat box, there's a survey form for you to fill in about today's event. And grateful if you could do that, because we do pay attention to the feedback in terms of designing events in the future. So that's there. So if you could, before you sign off, take a bit of time to complete that. Wouldn't take long. But what I wanted to say is first of all, thank you to all the presenters who, the presentation for me were very, very clear, and a lot of very useful advice, also inspiring, which is good, I think, for young researchers out there who might feel intimidated or don't feel they have the connections with France to make an application. As both Benoît and Xavier pointed out, there are a range of programs here on offer that cover the sort of your full research career in a sense. So I think that's something very positive. You've got French research institutes operating here in Thailand, which makes France sort of unique in that regard. And I would encourage researchers to look into those research institutes and make connections there. Xavier said, that if for those of you who maybe are just starting off on your research career and don't yet have an international network or contacts in France, the embassy is there to help, and they can facilitate the introduction. So that's a wonderful service that the embassy is providing. And finally, I just think that it's clear that these programs from France have been very beneficial to many Thai researchers. And I think, Dr. Wanwitoo, the fact that you mentioned you've got your French colleagues coming here next week, this is all, or in the next 2 weeks, this is all for the good. It shows that these programs are doing what they're designed to do. So I think if there are no final comments or questions, we'll probably wrap it up here. And I think we'll probably meet again in the near future as some of these other programs come open. So thank you, Xavier, thank you, Benoît, and Dr. Sirinan and Dr. Wanwitoo for your excellent presentations and for taking the time to be with us today. So thank you all.
Thank you, Simon, for organizing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.